Hey everyone, it's Lost Soda Pop, and I'm here with my co-host Parkinator 600, my friend
Hey, how's
James,
it doing?
and I'm Ethan, and we're going to be reviewing Rocky. We recently have been watching all the Rocky films, so this one's part one of 6 Rocky films, and then we'll definitely take on the Creed franchise as well.
Yes.
So
We've
without
been
further
binging
ado,
with him this week.
yeah, we've been binging them back to back, and
Yeah,
eventually
man.
we kind
Started
of
on Sunday.
we've been just joking amongst ourselves, just the Rocky
Yeah.
voices and shit, just doing
Yeah.
hey yo you going
Yo,
eventually it started
Adrian,
off yeah, yo what yeah I swear to God,
That's really
but
good.
it was basically just it started off as incoherent mumbling, and eventually at least the microphone probably isn't doing me justice, but like I've been doing it around the house. Family members have been like, "That's irritating
Really?
as shit," but you're really, really good at doing Sylvester Stallone of recent. So I've been talking to my dogs. It would get to my littlest dog. She just goes haywire because it's like,
Nina?
"Oh, that's not your voice. Who the fuck, right?" And so Nina starts barking
starts
up a storm
barking.
at
Oh,
me, like,
yeah.
"Hey, who the hell are you?" So
That's not your regular voice.
yeah, it's not your regular. Hey, dog,
Hey,
what's the matter with you? You know,
where you
I
barking?
come
It's
around
me,
these parts all the
Ethan.
time, man.
Swear to God.
So when we were
bro.
looking into these films, dude, I was surprised at the years because like the film quality didn't actually seem all that bad. Like I was
Yeah, very
expecting
low
like
budget.
low budget, but it served its purpose. Rocky's
Yeah.
a 1976 film. It's
I think so,
actually
yeah.
directed by Sylvester Stallone. Apparently, he apparently
It
had
is, yes.
he had a hand in helping with part of both the directing and the writing for all the Rocky films.
He's
Up
very
until
hands-on
I
as
think
a...
up until the 6th one. I think I was reading.
I think it was
But
the
it's an
sixth one, yeah.
yeah, it's an MGM film. Big Lion Man at the very beginning.
Big Lion Man, roar.
I
Big
definitely
roars.
like the opening for these films though, especially with the like bam 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 bam, bam, and they have the
I think
name
that's,
coming going left pan or something like that. It's like going it's scrolling sideways. It's a close up of Rocky's
It's a side crawl.
Yeah,
sorta.
I've seen that
Yeah,
redone in so many different things. I think Family Guy did it at one point or another.
They did, yeah.
I think Family Guy has ripped on the Rocky franchise for quite a bit.
Whilst the slow vertical crawl was Star Wars, you know,
Yeah.
the ultra
Rocky
slow.
did the whole
The Rocky did the
sideways,
side,
yeah.
the horizontal.
But just
side
the
crawl.
name of him.
Yeah.
I wonder if I haven't seen the Creed films yet, but I wonder if they do that. Do they do that, James? I know you've seen all of them.
I think I'm not too sure. It's been a while since I've seen the first Creed, so like.
Well, when we tackle the Creed films, we'll let you guys know.
But,
so James here got me into the Rocky films. We've been watching them back to back. He's already seen them. He's a big fan. So James,
we started on Saturday, and then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for anyone watching them, we just binged it on Saturday and just been kind of going through all of them recent. James here, what's your favorite? What's your favorite one so far? I mean, you know, we're jumping ahead. We're talking about the first film.
Oh, well, that's a very interesting. That's a tough one because like it's a toss up between two. I really enjoyed the sixth film, and I also really enjoyed I suppose like I love the fourth one. I like the fourth one. The sixth one and the fourth one.
I'll let you get into those ones when we go to review them, but I know
the first one has a little bit of place in my heart. The original, just because like you know it's the starting film, so it's the one that started off.
The underdog story.
Yeah.
I honestly, I have a bunch of notes here, but with the film starting off, he's kind of fighting some dude, and what I think what's really great, and like you said, the sixth one, I'm kind of up there with you. The sixth one definitely pulls a lot from the first movie, and I think we'll have to do a comparison when we're talking about the sixth film in particular. So we'll try not to reveal too much, but definitely a lot of what is in that movie goes up. But we start the film off with him fighting, doing underground fights. Kind of beating the hell out of people with
just underground like low card stuff like
he's fighting. Who was he fighting in the very beginning? It was Spider or something?
Spider Rico. He's like a very underdog. I wouldn't say underdog, like low
underground
class,
fighting. Really, they're
underground
just kind of
fighter,
low-paced fights, or bum fights, really.
yeah.
But the story is he's kind of a bum fighter. He's fighting on the thing. He's not really well respected by his peers, and then he finally
He's not
gets
really
his
that
comeuppance,
good.
and he gets the underdog kind of gets his big shine at stardom by going up against Apollo Creed, the number one in the world, a heavyweight
world
champion or
champion at the
something like
time.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always somebody, the world champion, always ready to be overthrown. But I think getting
There's
to
all
know
the
the
other
characters,
contenders that weren't available due to injuries or fouls or.
yeah. I think getting to know the characters are definitely one of the best parts of this film. Getting to know characters like Polly, Mick, Apollo, and of course his soon-to-be wife, Adrian.
Adriana Pananino.
I'm gonna be honest. Adrian's character kind of annoyed me in this film. The very first one, at least.
I know. I kind of got it.
She's annoying, dude. She's like super shy. She doesn't talk to him. Rocky comes in every fucking morning. He comes in and he talks about, like, he tries to tell her a joke. He's really working her up. You can tell he cares about her, and she just not even giving him the time of day. Honestly, I think Rocky's too good for her in the first film. He's way too nice to her. It's like, Jesus. She's like,
I just like
she
whenever
doesn't
I saw
do
the
anything,
film,
and then suddenly he like super hits on her towards the end there, and like or towards the middle of the film, he like really lays it in on her and stuff like that, and it kind of comes off a bit rapey. It really comes across real rapey.
It really does. It doesn't age
I'm
well.
fine with it. I don't care. But it didn't age well. I could tell a bunch of people would be like, "Hey, don't put that shit in my movies."
But like it was really. But that was the 70s, like late 70s, early 80s, like that.
Her hair was also not doing it for me. I know it sounds really gay, but
that was the style, and that was
like
how
she looks like a dude. She's creepy looking in this movie.
Yeah, she had a bob cut.
She's got a bob cut. She looks like a typical. Polly is just irritating in this film. Polly's like the standalone, like secondary hand. You seem to hate him. He's just like he's the brother to Adrian.
Yeah, he's
and
a piece of shit.
just kind of like he's a bum. He's just there in
really is,
each one of these films.
Polly's
just there. He's kind of a douchebag in this one because he's like, "Oh, my sister used to be better," and then he doesn't like it. He's selfish. He's just a douchebag. Mick is his trainer, the old man. He doesn't really see it in him at the very beginning, but when he realizes he's actually getting a chance at the big shots, finally starts, paying Rocky some attention. At first, you feel like, oh, he's just looking for the fame, but he's actually doing it because he wants to see people be successful. He wanted Rocky to be successful in the first place.
He reminds him of him in his younger days.
Yeah, so
Rocky reminds
Mick
him
is
of
definitely a good character.
He's kind of like a father figure.
Apollo's character in this movie is very ignorant and kind of like kind of full of himself throughout the entirety of the film. And I think that kind of is lost. The character arc for him is like, oh, he's lost. Well, he's not lost. He doesn't lose the film, but like he's not expecting Rocky to pull off what he does throughout the very fight at the very end. I really think that
he didn't expect Rocky to go the
all
distance.
15 rounds. He was like claiming that he was gonna knock him out in the third round or something.
Yeah, which he didn't.
A lot of this film, I have to say, the best part, some of the best part is definitely the lighting, especially the nighttime scenes. Like I said, it's a 76 movie, and I had to look that up and be like, oh, there's no way. It doesn't feel like that. It's really well filmed, shot for shot. It's a pretty decent film. It's classic.
I like the music in this film.
Music, yeah. Well, the music they have the class. They got the classical, Getting Stronger music, as well.
Yeah, it's I think it's called the opening theme at the beginning of it is "Gonna Fly Now" because it says
"Gonna Fly Now."
Yeah, that's called "Gonna." It was composed by Bill Conti.
Was it made specifically for Rocky?
I think so.
It's Gonna Fly Now song, yeah. I looked it up here. Gonna Fly Now by Bill Conti.
Yeah.
Was released in 79, but the movie was released in 76. So technically speaking,
it came after the music came after the
movie. It was all part of the movie before they started doing.
Maybe they acquired the rights of it. though,
Yeah, I'll have to look
probably.
into that more.
But yeah, it was a good. I like the soundtrack of the first Rocky. There's like nice somber tracks
I like the
uh,
build up to
with
the fight,
with
but to be honest, the build
with
up
the
is definitely
piano.
the best part of the film. The
Oh
build
yeah,
up
absolutely.
definitely. The build up, yeah, like the typical Rocky montage training. Like
Oh yeah, everyone
it's
loves the
something you've
montage.
seen done in different
Oh,
movies,
it's
but
been
like
done to death.
it's hard to claim. It's hard to claim that this is the first. I don't know. I don't know enough history wise to tell you
I
that,
don't think
but
it
it's
was the
definitely one of the
first.
best ones. You're definitely seeing him rise and get better and get stronger, and as the song implies, gonna fly now. You're gonna get this strong. You're gonna fly, boys. It's gonna be awesome, and he's
I don't
classic.
necessarily think I don't necessarily think it was the first time it was done, but I think it's the more successful
I
one.
think spaghetti
Hence,
westerns definitely had some sort of training montage, like with them
yeah,
learning how to become a gunslinger or something. But I think this is definitely one of the better ones
it's the more
out there.
successful, more
Yeah,
mainstream. And
but yeah,
then they
the final fight
parried
though.
this.
How do you
Oh
feel
yeah,
about the final fight? This is where the movie kind of ruins it for me because like the build up for it is learning about the characters, the basically, him getting to, familiar with Adrian and just like the love life between him and Adrian, Paulie kind of just tagging along, him and his bond between Mick, Apollo and his in this part greed instead of creed. He's greedy. He just wants, a show. He wants to
yeah,
fight some
an
dude, down
exhibition
on his luck. He
as
wants an
such.
exhibition of sorts. Um,
The
I
first one.
think the final fight really like I know the film is building up to it, and that's my favorite part is the building up to it because we've introduced these characters, we've learned about their motives, we've learned about how they fit into Rocky's life and how they're helping him kind of come up, and then it kind of falls apart in the final fight. For me personally, I know it sounds really as a hot take, but I think the final fight looks fake and stupid as shit in the first movie. Like at times where he's like going like he's gonna go and punch him, he's not even making contact with him at all. And I thought, oh, he's like deking him out. No, he's actually supposed to be hitting him because towards the middle of that fight, you're hearing the sound effects of the like, and it just seems so fake. And you're like, oh my god, that whole time in the very beginning when he was like throwing punches or little jabs at it towards his face, he was supposed to be making contact. And I thought, oh god, that looks terrible. I thought it looked absolutely awful for its time. It didn't. It must have not have looked good even then, because it looked goofy. The final
I don't
fight
know, man.
when they get up close and stuff like that, when the camera does its close-ups and stuff, it looks a lot more realistic. But when it's doing its like panning around the ring and they're
Oh
like
yeah,
moving
like
and shit like that,
oh
no,
yeah,
it looks
like
fake.
the long shot.
It looks really goofy, and it's funny because this is the only movie in the franchise that really kind of does it. I think the second one does it a bit more, but they towards the third film they've kind of nailed it down to a T to making it look more realistic and the fights and everything like that. But the first film
The
in
later
particular,
films they can
the
like
later films
sharpen it
figured
and
it out. Yeah,
like cut and it's close up and then cut, and it's a bit more dynamic in terms of how they cut. But yeah, the first one they did like the long panned like shot whenever they were like in the middle of the ring trading shots. Yeah, it kind of looks a bit um sort of like
looks fake.
unrealistic.
I think
But
it's still a great film. I definitely am willing to score it now. I have to say, the final fight, he goes all the way. He has all 15 rounds against Apollo. Apollo thought he was going to knock him out in like round 3 or 4 or something like that.
nah,
And definitely kind of puts Apollo in his place. Really shows that never underestimate people, and that underdogs definitely deserve their chance at the spotlight to be the best they can. So that
if
being
somebody
said, I'm going to
is
go ahead and give Rocky a 7 out of 10. In my opinion, I think 7 out of 10. I think for its time, it was good. If there were other films that just didn't really kind of perfect a lot of the things I had problems with, it would be an 8. But I'm going to give it a 7. 7 out of 10. It's a classic. Definitely check out Rocky. If you're going to watch these movies, though, definitely watch them in order. And watch
oh
them
yeah,
within,
well,
like
yeah, well, yeah, of
relatively.
course,
Because, like, dude, one's a day. That's what we've been doing. And
one a
it
day.
makes you
Yeah,
really appreciate them, especially appreciate the sixth film. If you watch the first one and the first through 5, you literally can watch them all. Start on a Monday and you'll end it off on a Saturday, and you'll be great.
yeah. But I'll score the film a 7 out of 10 as well. It's a good film for being low budget at the era it was shot at. You know what I mean? Um, it's a really good for an original film and the premise of it. It didn't too bad. Like I've seen like original films that did the same sort of thing, but kind of like bombed after the first one, and it didn't bother getting the sequel. So Rocky's one of those films that
Really kind of
um
gets you
really
intrigued and
really
interested in enough
yeah,
to get a whole franchise.
and
So
it makes you
it
care
did
about
what it
your
needed to do.
characters.
I think I like it. It's a classic film. Sylvester Stallone, good camera work for somebody who's just really kind of. I'm not gonna say starting off, but like you wouldn't think that he would have been behind producing and directing and writing for this. That's just
But
insane. And not to say that the writing's all that great, but there's parts like the walking home with a girl and stuff like that. The dialogue seems a bit fucking weird,
yeah, it kind
but
of has
that's Rocky in a nutshell.
it has its
Well, there,
charm.
yeah, it's definitely a charming movie. Well,
Yeah.
that's Rocky. I give it a 7 out of 10. James here gives it a 7 out of 10. Go ahead and check out Rocky. As of now, as of this recording, it's available on HBO Max. But if you can try and find it maybe as a bundle in on digital medias for platform sales, or go ahead and get yourself a physical. But with that being said, I'm Lost Soda Pop. This has been Parkinator 600. Thanks for watching
James.
our review of Rocky. We're gonna go ahead and tackle the other movies momentarily. A special thanks to Chris for doing our
Absolutely.
artwork for the thumbnail, and to our editors, whoever they are,
Yep.
who will be tackling this project. Thanks a lot, and I'll
Thanks a
see
lot.
you guys next episode.